Your presence here is not random at all. You need to trust the pull that brought you to these words today. This message has reached you because you have been carrying a silent weight for a long time, waiting for something that could finally calm the storm inside you. You have been going through this mostly on your own, afraid that if you spoke about it, others might dismiss your feelings as overthinking or imagination. But that quiet voice inside you has always been stronger than anything the outside world has told you. It stayed with you during your loneliest nights, speaking softly even when you tried to stay distracted or keep yourself busy. You did not create this feeling on purpose. It is something real rising within you, becoming impossible to ignore any longer. What if this feeling you keep returning to is not a burden at all, but a signal from a deeper part of you trying to guide you toward truth? The reason it does not disappear is because it comes from a level of knowing that your mind is only now starting to understand. Something within you is waking up, offering clarity that your past fears tried to silence. You once tried to quiet your heart out of self-protection, telling yourself that this intensity could not be real or that it was too much to trust. But it kept coming back again and again, because something deeper inside you was not ready to let it go. There is a reason this keeps returning to your awareness, and it is not accidental. This understanding is beginning to show you why your emotions react so strongly to one specific person. The bond you feel is not ordinary. It carries a depth that seems to remain even when there is distance or long silence between you. That silence is not empty at all. It is filled with meaning, emotion, and an unseen connection that continues underneath everything. Your intuition does not fade because your heart processes things faster than your logical mind can explain. This is not something random or temporary. It feels like recognition on a deeper level, something your inner self remembers even if your thoughts cannot fully describe it. The more you try to explain it away, the more strongly it seems to return. It keeps bringing you back to the same inner space, showing you that this connection entered your life for a reason. You are not imagining it, and you are not losing control of yourself. These emotions are coming from a place that feels higher than everyday thinking. When you listen beyond fear, you begin to realize this is not just desire. It is alignment with something that reflects who you truly are. Your mind, shaped by past pain and self-protection, may try to label it as uncertainty or risk. But something deeper within you already knows there is meaning here. A real soul connection often carries signs that cannot be easily faked or forced. One of those signs is a strange sense of peace. Even when the other person is not present, deep inside, there is a quiet knowing that the bond still exists in some form, even without constant contact. That sense of peace comes from the part of you that already believes what is meant for you will not be lost. This connection also works like a mirror, revealing parts of yourself that were hidden or ignored. It pushes you toward growth, not for the sake of another person alone, but for your own expansion and inner strength. This shared experience feels like it carries a purpose that is larger than everyday encounters. The feeling does not fade easily the way ordinary attachment might. Logic alone cannot fully remove it, because something within you refuses to treat it as finished. If this is truly meant to be, you may wonder why there has been so much silence or distance. These questions can feel heavy, but not everything unfolds in a straight or immediate way. What is rooted deeply within you cannot simply disappear because of time or separation. Some connections pause not because they are ending, but because both people involved need time to grow individually. There is a deeper process unfolding beneath what you can currently see. Life often prepares both sides before bringing them into alignment again. What feels like distance is not meaningless. It is a period of inner development for both people involved. Even if your mind struggles to accept it, something within this experience is still in motion and not yet complete. This is not the end of your story with this connection. It is more like a pause where unseen preparation is taking place. During this time, both sides are being shaped through experiences that build emotional strength, clarity, and self-awareness. The space between you exists for growth, not punishment. It allows both individuals to become more grounded so that if and when they meet again, they do so from a stronger and more stable place. Nothing is wasted in this process. What has been planted deeply within you is not something that simply disappears. It continues to exist even through silence, change, and uncertainty. Love, in its truest form, does not simply vanish. It changes form, it challenges, and it teaches. Confusion often appears when fear and intuition are pulling in different directions at the same time. That inner tension is part of waking up to deeper understanding. This distance is not truly absence. It is alignment happening slowly and quietly. Old emotional patterns are being cleared so that something healthier can eventually form. If things had happened before both of you were ready, the connection may have become unstable or overwhelming. The pause is protective in its own way. It gives space for emotional balance to develop so that if the connection returns, it does so from a place of stability instead of confusion or imbalance. It is like both lives being adjusted so they can meet again more consciously and clearly. This time apart also turns you inward. It encourages you to build a stronger relationship with yourself so that love does not become something you lose yourself inside of. Instead, it becomes something that supports your growth. Distance becomes a form of learning. It brings up fears of loneliness, doubt, and emotional uncertainty so that you can face and release them. Through this process, you become more complete within yourself, independent of outside validation. As you grow, the energy between you also shifts. It does not disappear. It changes form, becoming more aligned with emotional maturity and clarity. At the same time, the other person is also going through their own inner journey. Even if their actions appear distant or confused, that does not mean they feel nothing. Sometimes what looks like avoidance is actually inner struggle. People often fight with their own emotions before they can understand them clearly. Silence can come from being overwhelmed by feelings rather than from a lack of feeling. Internal resistance can create distance even when connection still exists underneath. This inner process can be difficult and confusing for them as well. Eventually, both sides reach moments of clarity. There comes a point where emotional truth becomes stronger than fear. At that stage, avoidance can no longer hold back what is already felt deeply within. When any return or reconnection happens, it will not be based on confusion or nostalgia alone. It will come from acceptance and emotional honesty. Walls that once existed begin to soften, allowing truth to come forward more openly. Timing plays a major role in this kind of connection. Things tend to align only when both individuals are capable of handling the emotional depth involved. Until then, life continues shaping both sides quietly in the background. Your part in this process is not anxious waiting. It is becoming ready internally. It is about moving into a state where your energy is calm, stable, and whole, rather than dependent or uncertain. You are being guided to release fear and emotional tension so that if this connection returns, it meets you in your strongest state. Let go of rigid expectations about how or when things should unfold and allow space for life to move naturally. Forgiveness becomes part of this process too. Forgive the silence, the distance, and the confusion, not because everything is already clear, but because holding tension only weighs down your own growth. These experiences have shaped your strength, even if they were painful. Stay grounded in the peace you are building within yourself. What feels unresolved is slowly moving toward clarity. The silence is not emptiness. It is transformation happening in a way you cannot fully see yet. The struggle within the other person is also real. They are not quiet because they have forgotten. They are quiet because what they feel is still present. Even if unspoken or buried under fear, their emotional world is not still. It is active, even if invisible from the outside. Inner resistance, pride, and fear often create silence that looks like indifference, but underneath it, there is movement. This internal breaking down of old emotional defenses is part of growth. Without it, nothing would truly change. Old patterns must soften before new understanding can take their place. Both of you are being shaped through this process, repeating numbers that follow you through your day. Or maybe it is a certain feeling that arrives at the same time each evening, quiet and familiar, like a presence you cannot fully explain, but also cannot deny. These experiences may feel too perfectly timed to be random. They may feel like gentle messages from something greater than coincidence. These are not accidents. They are signals. They are alignment. They are reminders guiding you toward clarity and understanding. Whatever sign has stayed with you the most, acknowledge it. Do not dismiss it. Allow yourself to recognize it fully and even speak it out loud, if you need to. Because signs that bring peace often come from destiny, while signs that create fear are usually shaped by the ego. Your intuition already knows how to tell the difference between the two. You are not imagining this connection. You are not holding on to something unreal. You are not hoping without reason. What you feel has depth and meaning. It is real in ways that go beyond surface understanding. What is real is shifting on both sides, not just within you, but within them as well. Something is waking up. Emotions that were once buried are slowly rising again. Clarity is beginning to form where confusion once lived. Truth is emerging where silence used to stay. Everything is moving toward a single moment that already exists in the unseen. A moment that feels like it has been waiting for its right timing. All of this movement, all of this inner awakening, all of this emotional rising leads toward that point. This is the unexpected turning point. Life does not guide two souls through separation, reflection, silence, and inner growth without intention. Every pause has meaning, every distance has purpose, every lesson is shaping what comes next. The pulling back of awareness, the emotional intensity, and even the darker moments of reflection all serve a deeper preparation. The healing of old wounds and the release of attachment are not punishments. They are foundations being rebuilt so that something stronger can exist. This turning point will not be subtle or confusing. It will not be something you have to decode endlessly. It will be clear, it will be direct, it will be undeniable when it arrives. When destiny decides the moment has come, it becomes obvious in ways that cannot be ignored. It does not whisper hints that you must overanalyze. It becomes a reality you can feel and recognize instantly. The gesture that comes forward will not be shallow or accidental. It will not be based on convenience or temporary emotion. It will come from a place of inner limit where running away is no longer possible. It will come from a soul that finally understands the weight of what it has been avoiding. A soul that realizes that what it tried to silence cannot be erased. A soul that recognizes that walking away from this truth creates more pain than facing it. Their action will carry honesty, humility, and emotional openness. These are the very qualities they once struggled to express, but now can no longer hold back. This turning point will not arrive when the heart is impatient or desperate. It arrives when both people have grown enough to hold the connection without breaking it through fear. The universe does not bring two unresolved hearts together just to wound each other further. It brings two individuals who have evolved enough to meet from a place of inner stability rather than emotional need. This is why the distance had to happen. This is why silence became part of the journey. This is why both of you were guided into personal reflection. It was not random. It was preparation, not for another person, but for your own growth and expansion as an individual. Now, your final step, as this movement becomes closer, is to prepare yourself to receive. Being ready to receive does not mean waiting in anxiety or expectation. It means aligning your energy with openness and balance. It means clearing the emotional space inside you so that love can enter without resistance. Any remaining fear, resentment, or doubt must be released so that if reunion comes, it meets you in fullness, not in lack. It is important that you are met in strength and emotional stability, not in old insecurity. If the same fears that once disrupted the connection are still present, they can recreate the same cycle all over again. That is why inner preparation matters deeply. To truly be open, you must also release rigid expectations. Stop trying to plan every detail of how things should unfold. Stop trying to imagine every moment in advance. Do not hold tightly to a specific outcome because control blocks the natural flow of what is meant to be. Letting go of control is actually a form of trust, a deeper trust in timing and alignment. Understand that what truly belongs to you does not require force. It arrives in its own natural way. When you align with this understanding, you allow life to move without resistance. You stop blocking what is already trying to reach you. You also need to release any bitterness that may still be sitting inside your emotional space. The ego often uses past wounds as justification for protection, but that same bitterness closes the heart. Forgive the silence. Forgive the avoidance. Forgive the confusion that was part of the experience. This does not mean you approve of everything that happened. It means you recognize it as part of a deeper journey that shaped both of you. Their absence played a role in building your emotional strength and awareness. Every moment apart contributed to who you are becoming now. Forgiveness is not something you give to them. It is something you give to yourself. It is a release that frees you from carrying emotional weight that no longer serves you. As things begin to shift forward, stay grounded in yourself. You may notice signs becoming stronger and more frequent. You may feel your intuition becoming sharper and clearer than before. Even as emotions rise, stay centered in peace. That inner peace is the foundation that supports everything meant to last. Without it, even meaningful connections can become unstable. With it, everything becomes stronger and more aligned. The universe is not only preparing them to return, it is also preparing you to receive what you once hoped for in a healthier and more complete way. Your growth is not a side effect of this journey, it is the very heart of it. This inner change ensures that if reunion happens, it will not collapse under old fears or repeated patterns. Instead, it will rest on awareness, maturity, and emotional clarity. Something is signaling that this long period of separation is coming to its natural completion. The real gift of this entire experience is not only the return of someone into your life, it is the version of you that has emerged from everything you have been through. You are not the same person who began this journey. You carry more understanding now, more emotional strength, and more self-respect than before. These qualities become the foundation of whatever comes next. You are never being punished by life. You are being guided into expansion and deeper awareness. Now you can move forward with a lighter heart as the heaviness begins to fade. The weight that once sat in your chest, the unanswered questions, the restless nights, the moments of doubt, all of it has been serving a purpose larger than it seemed. It was not suffering for the sake of suffering, it was refinement. It was the slow and steady process of becoming someone who can hold real love without losing themselves in it. Someone who can be fully present without fear. Someone who can give without losing and receive without feeling unworthy. That is who you are becoming, and that version of you is the one that everything has been preparing for. Stay centered in your peace and allow the next chapter of your path to unfold in its own timing. Trust that what is truly meant for you will not pass you by. Trust that the love you have been sensing, the connection that never fully let go, and the quiet knowing that has followed you through every moment of uncertainty was never leading you nowhere. It was always leading you here, to this moment, to this awareness, to this readiness. And from here, everything can finally begin to move in the direction your heart has always known it was meant to go.